Hi kids, welcome back to the Game Garage. We're going to do some writing today. We're going to work on the opening paragraph, the opening chapter of our story. And we're going to work on different ways that we can start our story. Now, we're usually going to find that there's about 4 ways to do that. Okay, we're going to work on 2 today and 2 tomorrow. And what we're going to try and do, you're going to practice one of those openings today. Even if you've already started writing and have written an opening draft to your story, what you're going to do today is you're going to do an opening chapter, but in a different way, even for the same story. If you've already got a story planned out, you could practice writing one and then writing the other today too. So I'll explain what I mean by that. Okay, here's my plan. Okay, here it is. This is going to the beach, or the beach adventure, or adventures at the beach. Haven't quite got it, and I'm still got all my plan. I've got my pictures. I've got my keywords written down. I haven't started writing yet. Now, what I'm going to do is, rather than write on here, I'm actually going to type on my computer. Why? Because it's a little quicker for me. Okay, and hopefully you'll be able to see it a bit clearer as well. Now, here we go. I've got my 4 characters. Okay, there you can see you've got Mum. That's not a very good M, is it? Here's Mum over here. Okay, there's Mum and Dad, and we've got 2 kids, a girl called Vanessa and a boy named Zach. So, the first 2 that we're going to concentrate on are, one, you could describe the setting, and secondly, you could describe the characters. Okay, so we can do a character introduction, or we can do setting with some good description. So, the 2 that we're going to work on today are setting and character description, and I'm going to quickly go through one of each just to give you an example. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip it back to my computer, and then I will type, and just to model how that you can do this. And obviously, just so that you know, here's my plan. Make sure that you can see it. Yep, there's my plan. I'm going to keep this in front of me. So I'm going to keep all my planning tools in front of me. Now I'm going to pull that back. And we'll start with this. Adventures at the beach, or beach adventures. Maybe beach adventures is better. So it doesn't really matter about the title at the moment. Beach adventures. Okay, so the first one I'm going to do a character introduction. Now, when you're writing a character introduction, obviously, I'm going to be talking about the characters. I'm going to be talking about the characters. So, I'll start with this. Mum and Dad were busy digging out all of the beach stuff. I don't really like that word. Okay, but all of the beach stuff. Toys, umbrella, cooler, and towels. There's probably lots of other things you take, which I could add at another point, but I'm not going to do that right now. So, straight away, Mum and Dad were busy digging out all of the... Dad was always moving stuff around the house. He always wanted things to be tidy. The only problem was that he usually would forget where he put things. Okay, so a little bit of fun. We've told a little bit about Dad. Mum, and I'll put here about Dad. He often got frustrated. Mum was much calmer. She would talk Dad through where he last saw the beach stuff, or the beach box. Should we call it the beach box? Quite a lot of people have, or the beach bag. There we go. He last saw the beach bag. Vanessa was the youngest child, and she usually just played while everyone else was getting ready. And I'm going to say this, Vanessa didn't show, and she usually just played, and I'm going to add this, with her stuffy, what should we have? A rabbit? A dog? A cat? Let's have a rabbit. A rabbit called Fluffy, while everyone else was getting ready. Zach, on the other hand, was very helpful. Period. He always wanted to help his parents whenever he could. He liked to predict what was needed and do it before he was being asked. Before he was asked. They were all really excited to go to the beach. Now, there's my introduction. I'll just make it just a touch smaller so you can see it all. Now, obviously that's just my first draft. Now, I've introduced all 4 characters. I've told you a little bit about each character. Is it great? No. Am I going to have to do lots of revising to make that fabulous? Yes, of course I am. But I'm going to go back. Here are my 4 characters. Mum, Dad, Vanessa, Zach. And I've introduced a little bit about each one. Now, that's really simply how you introduce characters, or an example of how you introduce characters. Now, what I'll also do is I'll upload this document to the website so that you can see, so you can actually print off a copy of this, both my character and then my setting introduction. And not only did I do some introduction to the characters, I also included the story. Obviously, I'm highlighting this here. They're all really excited to go to the beach. I've told the reader what's going to happen in the story. They're going to go to the beach. They're packing to get ready for the beach. Now, if I had enough time, I would then read through what I'd written and I would make improvements, make sure that it made sense. That's the most important thing. Just for time, I'm not going to do that, but I would expect you to do that process. I'm going to go straight on to my setting, and it might not be quite as long. Now, if I'm going to do my setting, obviously this time, and I'm going to go back here, okay, you can see there that the setting at the start is the house, okay? So I'm going to start literally with that. The house was busy. Everywhere there was noise. Whether it was Dad shouting or Mum Soothing, the noise reverberated around. There we go. The noise reverberated, that means it bounced around the whole of the house. I'm going to give these people a surname, a family name, and I'm going to call them the Pearsons. I'm going to write that down on my plan. Pearsons. The Pearsons, or the Pearson, so the Pearson family were getting ready to go to the beach. Dad was busy, and there are some similarities obviously between the two because we still need to tell them who's in there. Dad was busy in the trying to find things in the dusty, dirty attic at the top of the house. He kept shouting. He kept shouting, and as he did so, dust spilled out of the doorway to the attic, covering everything in the top floor of the house. Zach was busy moving things from the upstairs into the car. It was a long process going up and down the stairs so many times. He had already packed the lunches in the cooler or not. He had already packed the lunches in the cooler. Okay, so that's once again telling you a little bit about Zach. Vanessa was playing in the garden amongst the flowers with her stuffy, and could be heard shrieking. Oops, there we go, shrieking everywhere. The house was busy. Now, there we go. I've started it with the house was busy, and I've ended it with the house was busy as well. So there's another little strategy. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm just going to save that right now so that while I'm doing that, so that put that in next week's, so that you have a copy of that. So that you can actually print that out and you can have that in front of you just to see the kind of style. Now, once again, is this perfect? No, absolutely not. And if I was going to go back and read over it and revise it, that you know that there's going to be loads of crossings out in there and scribbles on it, and that's how we work, that's how we operate. However, just so that you get the idea, because I don't want you to watch, I don't want you just to watch a screen all day. I want you to actually get the writing done. So print this off. There are my two. They're on the same thing. Tomorrow we're going to go on to doing two more different ways, in two more different styles of writing, or two more different ways that you could actually start your opening. Now, today what I want you to do, the activity, is I want you to, whether you're going to work on one you've already planned and written a draft of, or whether you are going to start a new story and write the opening to it, I'd like you to write either a character introduction, character first chapter, or a setting first chapter. You can decide. Okay, get to it.